happy Tuesday to you and everybody who's watching and listening to me right now. We're in Sacramento. It's a little after 6 o'clock on a beautiful, beautiful day. And you're right, we did have a chance to meet on Saturday morning and when I was giving a speech. And here we are on Tuesday, and here's what I'm going to talk about this evening. Same thing as I talked about on Saturday. Light bulbs, and turning your light bulb into a golden nugget. So let's discover, what is a light bulb? Here's a light bulb, here's a great example, and every single one of us has a light bulb embedded in our belly. Everybody has a light bulb in their life. And the light bulb is anything you are good at. It can be something you're good at as a job. It can be anything you're good at in the kitchen. Maybe it's a recipe. Maybe it's something you're playing with your children. Maybe it's something you don't do for a living. Maybe your light bulb is actually your advice or your observations to the world and people are taking you up on it. Maybe your light bulb is a hobby and you don't get paid for it at all, but it's your passion. Here's the problem with a light bulb. As soon as you stop doing your passion, when you die, and we all die, your light bulb dies with you. And that's a real bummer. It sucks because nobody gets to be illuminated by your light bulb as soon as you die, because your light bulb dies with you. There's a movie that came out many, many, many years ago called The Natural. Robert Redford, Glenn Close. And Robert is injured and he's in the hospital. And he's laid up and he's recuperating. And Glenn Close walks in and she says to him, I believe we have two lives. The life that we learn with, and then the life that we live with after that. Personally, I think Glenn Close is wrong. I think she's wrong, wrong, wrong! I believe we have three lives. The life that we learn with, the life that we live with after that. Okay, so Glenn Close got 2 out of 3 right. But we have a third life. The life that becomes a golden nugget. And let's be honest, a golden nugget is something that travels across space and time. A golden nugget is your light bulb turned into a format that lives outside of you. It lives beyond you. It lives past you. Your light bulb turned into the format of a golden nugget lives past your death. And that's the most important aspect of a golden nugget. It lives past your children, into your grandchildren, for future generations, all the way across the world, for futures to come, for hundreds of years to come. Your light bulb, whatever you're good at, dies with you. But your golden nugget lives on for thousands of years. That information. Let's take a look at a couple of examples of actual golden nuggets. And for me personally, the golden nugget that always occurred to me was this book right here. Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People was always a golden nugget for me. Why? Because this travels across space and it travels across time. I've never met Dale Carnegie. He lived a long time ago. In fact, this book was published in 1936 in New York, of all places. And let's be honest, I'm not even that old yet. Dale Carnegie was 55 years old when he died, and I wasn't even born. No, he died in 1955, my mistake. And I wasn't even born yet. There are 2 obstacles to me getting in front of Dale Carnegie when he was teaching this course when it was still a light bulb. So let's talk about the light bulb that Dale Carnegie created. In the 1920s, Dale Carnegie came up with a course for public speaking at the YMCA in New York. And it was very popular with all the business people, but you had to be there. You had to be there in person, and you had to experience it face-to-face with Dale Carnegie. That was his light bulb. That's what he was known for doing well. And we all have a light bulb in us. But until Dale published his work, it was just a light bulb. And if Dale Carnegie had died before publishing his work, his light bulb, his legacy would have died with him. But because he wrote a book and he published in 1936, here we are today in 2012 holding Dale Carnegie's golden nugget. I read this book in 1995. It absolutely changed my life. It illuminated so many rooms in my life. This book, had I read it when I was married, would have saved my marriage. This is the kind of golden nugget that I needed to save my marriage. And thank goodness that Dale Carnegie created a golden nugget so I could benefit and read it in 1995 and create an amazing relationship with my ex-wife. This book is how I have an amazing relationship with my ex-wife. Thanks to Dale Carnegie turning his light bulb in the 1920s of providing these classes face-to-face and making a book out of it. It travels across space and time. It travels across halfway around the world, and even today you can find this book in all bookstores. It is a true golden nugget. Golden nugget example number 2. The movie Star Wars. This movie was made a long time ago, but my best friend, David Howe, sat in the theaters at age 9 years old. And he watched this movie 113 times in the theater. George Lucas had a dream, an idea, and he wrote it down as a script. And his script is his light bulb. George Lucas is fantastic at writing scripts, but his script is still only a light bulb. If George Lucas were to have died before making Star Wars, his light bulb would have died with him. Thank goodness he made the movie, so that my buddy David Howe could be inspired to be a filmmaker just like George Lucas. Because of George's Star Wars movie, because he turned his light bulb of a film script into an actual film, it became a golden nugget. And Star Wars is a true golden nugget that inspired David Howe to be a filmmaker. And even today, if we all got up and went to Best Buy, we could buy Star Wars the DVD right now this evening. It is another true golden nugget because it travels across space and time. It also exists outside of George Lucas. It exists beyond him, past him. It'll exist past his death. Just like Dale Carnegie's book exists past his death, that is a true golden nugget. Golden nugget example number 3. My brother, Lance Wally. He created a company 20 years ago, and he created this item right here called the Basic Stamp. It is for hobbyists and programmers to decide if their program actually works or not. And Lance and his co-founder 20 years ago for Parallax Incorporated right here in Sacramento up on Auburn Boulevard created this item in their bedrooms. Even before moving out of the house when we still lived at home, I remember this. Parallax was born, and it was still a light bulb. But as soon as my brother and his co-founder turned it into an actual product that they could sell, that's when it became a golden nugget. That was 20 years ago. If we all got up and went out to Radio Shack right now, we could buy this product for $99.95, thanks to my brother taking a light bulb, creating this product at home in his bedroom, and turning it into a product that everybody can buy whenever they want, anywhere in the world. This product has been around for almost 20 years worldwide. A true golden nugget. Why do we want to have a golden nugget? What's the importance of a golden nugget? Twofold. Number 1, all of us have benefited from the huge illumination of somebody else's golden nugget. Somebody else took the time to turn their light bulb into a format that could travel around the world. It could travel across space and time, across geography and time, like a book or a video or a movie or a product. We have all benefited from somebody else's illumination of their golden nugget. Number 2, best reason, in 100 years from now, our grandchildren are still going to be alive. And we may or may not be here. We are trying to impart wisdom to our grandchildren as we speak, but they're not going to remember everything. We need to turn our light bulb, we need to turn this thing into this thing for our grandchildren, for our children, for our great-grandchildren, for all the generations to come. Because when we die, this dies with us. All the wisdom we want to impart to our grandchildren dies when we die. Creating a golden nugget means that they get to read it, watch it, listen to it, absorb it, pass it along. As long as it's a golden nugget, it will be around long after we're dead. We're not around that long. but our golden nuggets live longer than we do. How do we make a golden nugget? Dale Carnegie spent a lot of time and a lot of money making a book in 1936. It was a huge effort. He had to go to a publishing agency. He had to go to a professional printer. It must have cost a ton of money, a ton of time, and there are only a few publishers in the country, and most of us couldn't have afforded it like Dale could. Nowadays with the internet, 2012, bada bing! We can produce a book online, we can produce an ebook online, we can do a downloadable PDF, we can do a YouTube video. All of the light bulbs that we have in our lives, whatever we're good at, whatever we get paid to do, whatever everybody else knows that we're fantastic at, they die when we die. And the internet allows us to make a YouTube video, to make a blog post so people can read it. It allows us to publish our own books online. Here's what my dad has done this year alone. This is my dad's book. He published this year on Lulu.com. Dale Carnegie would have loved to have the ability to publish his own books. Dale Carnegie would have loved to have the ability to have a website. Dale Carnegie would have loved to have the ability to have his golden nugget become a YouTube video, become tweetable, become shareable, because when you get online, and like my dad with Lulu.com, self-publishing his own Christian murder mystery novels, because my dad has a light bulb too. Nobody ever saw it until this year. He's been writing books and novels and Christian murder mysteries for years, but nobody has seen it. Nobody's been able to get their hands on it because it's not in the right format. Dad would type it all up. He would take it down to Pip Printing. He would make a dozen copies, and he would send them to me and my brother and other family and friends in Australia, and that was it. Nobody could get their hands on my dad's light bulb because it wasn't in the right format. Now, this format will outlive my dad. In the next 100 years, my dad will be dead. I will probably be dead. But our golden nuggets, your golden nuggets, will live forever. I believe we have 3 lives that we live. The life that we live with, the life that we learn with, the life that we live with after that, and then the life that becomes a golden nugget. Because a golden nugget is something that inspires us, like Star Wars, that teaches us how to become a programmer and start a business like my brother's products with the basic stamp. And the golden nugget, it teaches us how to be better human beings in the form of a book or an ebook or a download or an audio podcast. My dad is the latest example of turning a light bulb into a golden nugget. And I did the cover artwork for him, so it gives me a chance to provide my golden nugget to his golden nugget. So my artwork now lives beyond me as well. Everybody you know has a light bulb. And the one light bulb that I wish would turn into a golden nugget is my mom's amazing Burmese chicken curry. We've been having it our whole lives. It tastes amazing. Every time I go over to my mom's house and she's made Burmese chicken curry, I eat as fast as I can because I love the taste, and then it's gone. The recipe is not written down anywhere. If my mom were to die tomorrow, this amazing Burmese chicken curry recipe would die with her because it's not in a format that travels across space and time. I've got to go to my mom, and I've got to have her write down the recipe so that I can put it on the internet as a YouTube video, or put my mom's recipe on the internet as a blog post. I can take pictures. I can film her making it so that it lives beyond us. Just like you, my mom has a light bulb in her life, and it is her recipe. And it is something that needs to be turned into a golden nugget so that it can go on to future generations. Somebody halfway across the world tomorrow can benefit from my mom's recipe, just like somebody 100 years from now can benefit from my mom's recipe. And you too. You have a golden light. You have a light bulb inside you right now, stuck inside you, that is dying to get out and become a golden nugget, so that the world tomorrow and the world 100 years from now and our children and grandchildren and generations to come can benefit from our wisdom, our knowledge, our skill sets, so that our light bulbs do not die with us. I am talking about creating things. And I'm talking about creating things in 3 formats that the internet allows us to do today. I'm talking about creating either a product that can be sold online or a service that can be sold online. I'm also talking about a book that can be created as a self-publishing project and sold online. I'm also talking about the observations people have and the wisdom people have that can be written up in a blog post online. If you have smarts in an area and everybody knows that you have wisdom in an area, if you die, that's going to die with you. Children do count. One of the best golden nuggets parents have are their children. And our children and our grandchildren in particular. We try to cram in there as much wisdom as we absolutely can. And sometimes they forget what we've said, especially my parents with my memory. I don't really remember what my parents taught me as far as wisdom or observations or things to be concerned about until I got to be an adult. I would love to have my mom and my dad make a blog post, make a YouTube video for things that I want to remember, for things they want me to remember, and follow their advice. And what I'm doing now with this video here, and thanks to Victor for having me on. Victor, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Having this video means that this will outlive me. And do any of you have any light bulbs in your life that you're dying to put into a video or a blog post or a self-printed book, self-published book? Because my dad's using Lulu.com, and he's finding it's a place for his work to live on beyond him. And he's retired, he's in his 70s, and it's a whole new life for my dad to be a writer. My brother and I had no idea that my dad had writing in him. After 60-plus years after retiring, we'd always known him as an attorney. But everything my dad did as a professional never got into a format that will outlive him. When he went to work, he did his job, he came back home, and that was it. Those light bulbs, all my dad's education, all the training that he had at work, all the training he had from school that he utilized at work, it will die with him when he dies. But now that he's retired and he's writing all these murder mystery novels and he's writing a couple a year, the fact that we're able to self-publish online means that he now has a light bulb that gets turned into a golden nugget. And I'm so happy that I get to be part of my dad's book cover creation, because we're working in cahoots, and I really love working with my dad on something that he loves working on as well. And it's a whole new life for my dad in the 70s. It's amazing. I love to watch my dad's eyes light up, and he spends his whole day editing books. That's one of the best golden nuggets you can have, is to create a book or create a podcast. If you have any light bulbs that you would like to turn into golden nuggets, I would be happy to hear what they are. Even if you want to contact me via email, I'll give you my web address as well. I am at reidwally.com. It is reidwalley.com, reidwally.com. And my phone number that you can reach me at is area code 916-416-6404. And my email address is reid, R-E-I-D, at reidwally.com. reidwalley.com. And you're welcome to touch base with me at any time, even after this broadcast is done. Reid at reidwally.com. reidwally.com is the website, and the phone number again is 916-416-6404.